What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, that's where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update, hit the like button. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, Send Cut Send, which is that contract laser cutting service that you've heard me talk about on the Scale News before and seen me use in my own builds. They're now offering a 15% discount with the code 15HD discount. That's not a one-time use code or anything like that. You can use that on as many orders as you like until something changes. And if you're not familiar with that site, it's just a super affordable website. You can go upload your own designs in a ton of different formats, whether it's CAD or some very simple PDF or Illustrator type formats as well. Choose your materials, which they have a huge range of, and the costs are really, really good. $39 is the minimum order, and you can get a lot more done for $39 than you would think, and even 15% more now if you use this code. Go check them out. I'll put a link in the description below, and don't forget to use that discount code. Next, RC 4-wheel drive released a new Poison Spyder licensed rear bumper. They show this being fit to their Blazer hard body. It also notes that it can be used with the Traxxas Blazer body, but it seems like it would probably fit any of the wider scale bodies like that. It uses a post style mounting, which is pretty standard. Beyond that, just very typical Poison Spyder inspired, styling with the webbed gussets in the corner. It's got a swing out tire carrier and a receiver hitch. In the photos, they showed a drop hitch installed in that receiver, and it was such a long, it looked more like a third row plow than a drop hitch. It's not included that they showed it in there for some reason. I don't know. RC 4-wheel drive. But if you're looking for, upgraded rear bumper options, but there's not always as many as front bumpers. Here's a new one. Check it out. See if it's going to fit for one of your builds. Also newly listed on the RC 4-wheel drive site this week was this $4,000 8x8. Now this is made and assembled by JD Customs, which is a brand that RC 4-wheel drive rebrands, kind of, something like that. But this 8x8 heavy hauler tow vehicle, pretty sweet looking. Now, whether or not it's $4,000 good looking is up to you and your financial planner. For $4,000, there is a tremendous lack of information on the website as far as the features and details. There's someone gave you $4,000. You had 3 minutes to spend it though, and you were already on the RC 4-wheel drive website. Would you click buy? Or would you pick 8 rust bucket Blazers instead? Holmes Hobbies released a limited edition version of the 10-shooter motor that they've got. This is a 2700 kV motor, super smooth 10-pole brushless motor. That's why it's called a 10-shooter. But this is available in the 2700 kV. Great motor kV choice if you're running 2S to 4S. It'll run them all and do pretty well at it. A solid range. Pick the standard length or the stubby, make it fit in most any build. And currently you can also find the 10-shooter available in purple in an 1800 kV, just in case you're looking for a new colorful centerpiece in the middle of your chassis. This week I want to thank Ridge Wallet again for sponsoring the Scale News Update. If you don't know Ridge Wallet, they're a super compact wallet. It's great for a front pocket carry, have up to 12 cards in there, has a money clip on the back, also comes with a cash strap, which is like an elastic version in case you want something just a little bit slimmer. Currently, I'm still carrying this Forged Ember version, which I really like the style of. It's a forged carbon fiber look with some of those metallic speckles inside there as well. I also have a standard forged carbon fiber, a burnt titanium. You can get all different colors and anodized aluminum, tons of different options. Go check them out. Also, check out the key case, which I picked up as well in a matching Forged Ember. Helped cut down front pocket clutter by organizing my keys, which I found I was carrying way too many of. These make a great Father's Day gift if you're still shopping. But I've got a code Harley10, which will save you 15% off currently. So go check that out. There's a link in the description below as well. And thanks again to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring the Scale News Update. The Fuhrer Tech 124 scale monster truck kits are in stock now at AMain. You can go check those out. They're carrying these in 3 different colors: CNC chassis, 8 shocks, Comes with its own axles that are standard ring and pinion rather than a worm gear, so a little bit better suited for high speed than the worm gear options. This is a nice little chassis and axle set. You don't need a ton to complete this. One of very few 124 scale monster truck kits that I've seen that hasn't been 3D printed. If you love the 124 scale stuff and just kind of want to play around with something a little bit different, maybe this is a good option. I've put a link to it in the description below, and you'll also find links to all of today's stories. Last week, the Tamiya Launch Edition Ford Bronco was officially released, which was weird. We had seen announcements of it a long time ago, but then last week it was finally released, and then it will be publicly available here shortly. It's kind of weird. It was like, I thought it was released when we saw all the info, but not exactly. Tamiya sent me one of these kits early. We had a video available for release day, which I'll link in the description below as well. This is one of Tamiya's newer platforms, which still means it's a couple years old at this point, but you know, maybe one that you haven't built like a dozen times already. Worth checking out if you want to build yourself just a fun little runaround scale truck. There's also a small amount of information that trickled out about Tamiya planning to release a McLaren Senna. I'm sure that means it'll come out on one of their common platforms that many of us have built many times in the past. That Senna though, such a good looking car. It'd be really cool to see how they pull that off in their Lexan bodies. I'm sure we'll see more information in an unofficial release months before the official release, and then it gets announced. But Boom Racing just announced a direct power version of their free spool capable muscle winch. Direct power means that it pulls the power directly from the battery, not through the BEC, either inside of your ESC or an external BEC. Direct power is nice. You usually end up getting a little bit more speed or a little bit more power, and you don't have to have a beefy internal BEC or spend money on an extra one. This winch also does have the free spool capability, but you do have to be able to get to the winch to actually push that button, which isn't always easy. And if you get into scale competitions, not necessarily allowed, kind of depends. Either way, if you're interested in more information on the muscle winch, check the link in the description below. This week, GSpeed has been showing some early images of their new Lexan body that they'll be releasing. This is the one-shot body. It's being made by Delta Plastics for GSpeed. It is a Jeep-inspired type body. It's got some very large fender flares that are there so that you can trim it to the width that you're after, depending on the competition specs that you're trying to use it in. It also has a drop bed that meets the minimum standards for what Sorka considers an actual drop bed. But beyond that, we've got some initial photos of it, not for sale yet, but should be soon, presumably from the information that we're seeing come out. Once it's officially released and we have all of the information available, we'll check back in on that. Today, Proline also teased an R34 GTR body. This is shown on an ARMA infraction. Can't tell if it's the full-size one or the Mega, the 1/10 versus the 1/7 scale. From their hashtags, I believe that it's the larger one. This is technically a protoform body, and again, kind of a up close 3/4 angle, not a ton of detail, but R34 GTR. Sure, just about any of us who grew up in the Gran Turismo days are gonna be a fan. And then for new infraction body option number 2 of this week, ARMA is releasing a NASCAR body, or Horizon is releasing it. Not 100% sure how or where it's being branded exactly, but this is the NASCAR Truck Series body, not whatever the Monster or Sprint or Craftsman, whatever version they're on of that Truck Series name now. This is that. Limited quantity available from what I'm told. It's on pre-order now. I don't watch the Truck Series at all, but I still think that this body looks really good. I do have an infraction. All of these body choices make me really think about kind of changing it up. And this one is pretty high up there. I think they did a good job on this. And I like the, true scale styling that went into the infraction now. But then we got infraction body option number 3 for the week. This from Biddy Designs is an up close teaser of what looks like a unicorn, which is kind of like the Felony was, but it was, I think, far enough away that this is going to sell that idea better. Definitely looks early Mustang. It's got the intake manifold coming up through the hood and the turbos on the side, so it's pretty clearly inspired off the unicorn. Biddy Designs does a great job with those bodies though, so looking forward to seeing what they've got going on. This Wednesday on Livestream Takeover, Richard from Turks and Jerps, or pardon my noob, however you know him, is going to be joining us. Nabil was going to be joining us this week to talk about the WRCCA Nationals, but due to some scheduling, we're going to push that back 1 week. So this week, come join as I try and figure out how many Simpson references I cannot understand Matt and Richard talk about. But that's going to do it for this week's news topics. For this week's question segment, last week we discussed what movie series or franchises, TV shows, YouTube series that you miss that aren't going any longer. There was a number of people in there that said Mythbusters, and that one I missed that one as well. But for this week's question, what is something in the RC industry that you had to come around to actually liking? Like you initially saw it and just didn't like it, didn't understand it, didn't want it, but then you came around either just having a favorable opinion about it or having to buy it. Whether it's a Lexan body choice or an actual vehicle, a whole company, whatever it is. Put your answer in the comments below. I enjoy reading those every week. Definitely my favorite part of the news. But with that, that's going to do it for this week's news. Thanks for watching. As always, every Tuesday, hit the like button if you enjoy these videos. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.